Say your.
Yeah. What's going on, Loyal Noodles? It's your boy Willie Knight, first of his name, and I am here alongside a very special guest, a fellow podcaster, a brave woman at spirit, and we're gonna go over her story and whatnot. And before we go any further, I just want to say thank you so much, Miss Tina, for coming on the show. Welcome to the Good Noodles Podcast.
Thank you, and I appreciate. I'm more excited than you, probably. Calling me brave, I love that.
So, for the Loyal Noodles that do not know, Miss Tina is the host of the 31 Flavors podcast, and she can tell the story a lot more than I can. I'm not into mansplaining things, so I am gonna give this woman her spotlight, and she can tell us what is 31 Flavors podcast.
Oh gosh, where do I begin? Mansplaining is a perfect example because we're the exact opposite. It's a variety show. I talk about everything from dating to sex to mom life to divorce to affairs to fuck them kids to drinking, everything you can think of. I touch base of everything, and it's usually a solo show, but I do have guests every now and then. Started on a whim. I was bored, and now I basically can't stop, but I love it. It's a blast. I definitely no filter, raw, answer anything. I'm a wide open book, and I mean, you'll hear me cry, you'll hear me laugh, you'll hear me scream, you'll hear my frustrations, you'll hear when I'm nervous. Like, it's just very raw. It's edited, but very fairly edited.
Okay, that's I'll tell you what, Loyal Noodles, it's a damn good listen. So definitely go give it a listen. I enjoy it. The few episodes I've listened to, I think the first one I listened to kind of set the bar really high. I listened to one of your Taboo. It's called Taboo. It was a crazy episode. I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything, but go check it out. Don't matter what episode you check out. Go check out 31 Flavors Podcast. You can find it on Anchor, which is a distribution site that'll just send it to Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. It is there. But what is it like doing the show like solo, like when you're by yourself? Like, I mean, there's four of us at any combination, whether it's 2 to 4 or anywhere in between there, but never have we ever ventured to just one of us. Like, what is that like when it's just you? You're just sitting there talking to yourself.
I'm not on camera, so I'm pretty talkative in general, and I'm pretty like outspoken. So like it's not that hard for me. I just kind of babble. I mean, I come up with a topic. I do have key points, bullet points, that I try to stick to because I'll just keep going. But it's not that hard. I think it's because I'm probably so full of myself that I just think like, fuck it, I can do it alone. But it is fun to have someone there to like banter back and forth with, feed off each other. But for the most part, but it's easier because there's no one in front of me. I don't have an audience. So it's kind of like I can talk, and it's more like out, like my diary type thing. And I don't know, it's not that difficult. I mean, you're not the first person to ask me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, it's really not hard for me. I don't know, I guess because I am talkative, so it's just easy. I mean, I'll talk to anyone. I have no fucking filter.
So how do you decipher like what parts of your life like do you talk about? Because I mean, I listened to a few. You do get very personal. Of course, I think that makes it easy for your listeners and viewers to relate, to kind of connect. It's not like a celebrity, like, like The Breakfast Club, where it's Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy and Angela Yee, and they're kind of celebrity status. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is your average Tina just having a conversation with herself, and it's just like, oh shit, like bitch, I be going through that too. Like how do you decipher? Like what do you talk about? What parts of your life do you not peel the curtain back for? Like
first and foremost, I protect my family. You'll notice I don't really bring in issues of like my kids or my immediate family, my siblings, my parents. I also don't speak about my in-laws. A lot of the story has to do with my divorce and everything that led up to that, my marriage. And I do protect them. So I think a lot of it is respect, my respect level for what I'm talking about. However, I do feel like the more open I am, the more raw I am, like the more I'll catch people. However, I try to venture towards things that people don't say out loud. Like I recently on an episode said, like in the mornings, I lock my kids in their room for 30 minutes so I can sit outside and have fucking coffee. Like, and someone wrote me and was like, I've never heard someone actually say they do that. And I'm like, because it's probably happening all over the fucking world, but everyone's just afraid to say it. Like,
how old are your kids?
They're 2. I have 2-year-old triplets.
Oh my God. Yeah. The trifecta. And you lock them in the room. What are they doing?
I mean, they're locked in the room while they sleep anyways.
Okay.
Because their little badasses will come out and like scare the shit out of me in the middle of the night. But they wake up at like 6 a.m, but I'm like, I need my coffee and my alone time for a few minutes because it's just go all day from the second they come out of their room. So I now like, I mean, their room is totally kid proof. So like they just play in there with each other and they have toys in there and whatever. And for like 30 minutes, I will literally just leave them in there while I have my coffee and then I go and get them and we start our day. But like things like that, or I'll talk about just things that no one talks about as far as like divorce and dealing with dating or whatever. I mean, it's just, I make sure that I never, or that I try really hard to not mention like other people's feelings or the words that came out of their mouth, just because I don't ever want it to be like making them a part of the show if they don't want to be a part of. But for the most part, it's all, I mean, everything's on the table. It's just, I do protect people and like I said, a lot of levels of respect. I mean, there's people, I've made people mad anyways. I have people that stop talking to me over the podcast anyway. So it's really like, I don't give a fuck, but
so there's people that legit was like, fuck you, Tina, I'm not your friend anymore because of this podcast?
Yes, because
is like something you said, like were you attacking them or what?
It was more that I told my story of the divorce, of what happened, the reason we were divorced. So people felt that I disrespected my ex-husband by saying what he did. So when that happened, I actually lost a lot of people because they were like, basically that wasn't my place. And I'm like, and I mean, I started the podcast 2 years after our separation, basically. And I tussled a lot with telling that story because of that. But at the end of the day, it was like, you did it. So, I mean,
if the boot fits, then wear it. And for you, I hope it's red bottoms, bro. Like,
yes, I do too. Yeah. So, I mean, there are people that have distanced themselves from me, but for the most part, I think I get a lot more support than anything.
Okay, so that's good. And then, well, I guess, yeah. So your friends or former friends, they'll give you like, okay, like I'm not with this shit, so we're not friends anymore. But like, do you get the opposite? Like, are your friends like learning you in this podcast, or is it just like, oh my God, I didn't fucking know that about you, or something like that?
Absolutely. Actually, my sister is like one of my best friends, and she told me the other day, like, I've never known that you felt overwhelmed in your day-to-day life. Like, I've never known that, like, there's days that they just come back from their dad's house and you're like, I need a break already. she's like, you just like play it so well. So like there are a lot of things that I say in a lot of different areas that my friends will be like, bitch, I had no fucking clue. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's everyone's a character. I like name everyone. So
yes. I think that's so funny. Like, what do you have? You have like Mexican with no boots. You have what is it? The Southern Gentleman.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them, and I'm like, yo, this shit is so fucking intriguing. Like, do you know if they listen and they're like, I'm trying to figure out which one I am?
They all are aware I have a podcast. They don't know anything about it because then they would find out about each other. And so that can't work. So they know I have one. They don't know the name. I would hope the only one that knows and listens is my soulmate. That's his stage name. But he listens, but that's because we were like basically like he knew when I started it, but he knows about everyone else anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, I keep it a secret. No one knows the name of it, or very cautious about that.
Okay, so that just sounds spicy.
Yeah. God, if I ever blow up, they're gonna be like, hey, I think that was me.
That's crazy. So, Loyal Noodles at home, that is your brief synopsis of 31 Flavors podcast with Miss Tina. So go check it out. She's on Anchor. She's on Instagram, 31 Flavors. So make sure you go find her, give her a like, give her a listen. You know, you're not doing anything on your train ride, your car ride, your walk, whatever. Just give it a listen. She definitely goes over and says some real shit. While she's talking, it's not like all buttered up and scripted and just it's structured, of course, but it's not. You can tell she's not like reading out of a book or something. Like she's just talking to you about life, and people like to talk about life.
Yes.
So today's episode, what we're going to talk about today on this episode of the Good Noodles Podcast is essentially straight up. We're going to talk about relationships, the beginning, the middle, the end, cheat codes for relationships, not too cheap, not cheat codes to cheat. Y'all out here wilding.
Let's not.
Cheat codes for relationships. Now, disclaimer, and we're gonna say this a few times throughout the conversation, but disclaimer: what works for me, what works for Tina, might not work for you. That's disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two: just because I said it, or just because Miss Tina said it, don't mean that's what we going through. Now I know Tina just said on her podcast she'll talk about her life and things like that. Like, yes, in a sense, we're talking about our life right now. But I'm not peeling the curtain back into the Knight family. That's not what I'm doing. We're just having a conversation. And I'll tell you what, if I could peel the curtain back, if I could take some notes from Miss Tina and I peel the curtain back a little bit, there's a lot of shit that I say or a lot of shit that I do that my wife don't necessarily agree with, that she just kind of like tolerates and whatnot. Like the views of Willie Knight, first of his name, are not the views of my wife when it comes to a lot of things. We are yin and yang with a lot of things, but it works for us. So for the loyal noodles at home that are kind of intrigued by that, hit me up and I'll be sure to fucking kind of elaborate on that a little more if I don't get to it in this episode. If there is something I'm going through, I'll say it. Like, hey, no, me and my wife, we do this and the third. So those are our disclaimers. One, just because we say it don't mean we're not going through it, or doesn't mean we are going through it. And number two, just because it works for us don't mean it's gonna work for you. So don't take the shit to heart, but enjoy the conversation.
Yes.
So without further ado, we are gonna take our first shot of the episode. We gotta take a shot to get everything nice and loose. And then we'll go into everyone's favorite segment, Scuffs My Tims.
Okay.
All right. Salud. Dinero, amor. Whew.
Yes.
That was lovely.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Douce.
Oh, okay.
And you said you were drinking Crown?
Yes, sir.
I like Crown. I actually just ran out a few days ago. I was going to drink Crown, but I like Douce. It's a really smooth yak.
I have to try it.
It's really good. So Loyal Noodles, we're gonna get into one of our favorite subjects. It's called Scuffs My Tims. The premise of this segment is basically to talk about something that bothers you, anything that bothers you, no matter what it is. If it bothers you, let's talk about it. So I'm going to give my guest the opportunity, if she would like, to tell us what scuffs her Tims or whatever shoes she may or may not wear.
So this I'm going to talk about just because I just got back from Big Bear and this like bothers the shit out of me. So in Big Bear, everyone's wanting to take their fucking dog for some reason. And like all the restaurants allow these dogs just sit in there with you. And I'm like, we were having breakfast this morning and this dog just comes by and sitting with the owner, but then the owner puts the dog on her lap and is like sharing food with the dog at the fucking restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, no, like I love dogs, all for it, can have an inside dog, everything, but I shouldn't have to like be at a restaurant and you bring your dog, like your dog is literally not human. Like as much as you want to think this is not okay. And it was very bothersome. I mean, I don't know. You see dogs everywhere, but it was just like in Big Bear, they just do the most apparently. And yeah, I don't get it. Like, can we stop? Can we end that? Like,
just we're cool with having dogs.
Yes.
Can we not have dogs at the dinner table?
Correct. Yes.
So, or what if we have like, you know how they have smoker sections at some restaurants and shit?
Yes.
Should we have a pet friendly area and a not pet friendly area?
Yeah. Let all the lesbians go sit with their fucking cats and dogs in this area. I mean, it could potentially be a date night. Like, I mean, can't do it. Like,
I like that because I'd be devastated if I went on like a date or if I went out to dinner with my wife and we're on a date and somebody puts like a pet goldfish on their table. I
mean, that would be really odd. But I mean, I was on a date too. I mean, I guess so. And I was just like, not okay. Like, it was cool when the dog was on the floor, but then it was like,
I don't know. But like, what? Like me, I'm allergic to fur. Like, I'm a cat person. I fuck with cats though. I will just risk my life for some cats. But I guess, you know, I've been risking my life for some pussy for a while now. However, what I'm saying is like, I'm allergic. So what if I'm at this restaurant and this fucking dog is sitting next to me at the table? Not next to me, but the table next to me is sitting there and I'm fucking allergic to this dog. Like, that can't be sanitary.
No, it's not. And it just looks gross. So I'm just like, not having it. Like, I won't even swipe. I'm all about dogs. Don't get me wrong. But I will not swipe on a person. I will not swipe right if they have a picture of them with their dog. Like, I feel like, what does your dog have to do with me? You know?
Because some people are dog lovers and they want to meet another dog lover.
Like, that's so fucking cute. And I'm like, I mean, you can have a maybe, I don't know. We'll get back to
that. So keep your dog out the profile pic, fellas. What if we get like a bio mention?
What?
Like, what if we put it in the bio? Like, okay,
yeah, and
dog lover.
Dog. Then you're like, oh, that's like a cool dog. I don't want to see you with your fucking chihuahua. Like, I don't know. Just.
Chihuahua, once upon a time, used to be the face of the franchise for Taco Bell. You can't just say that's not a cool dog.
I mean, I'm not even a Taco Bell fan, though. So.
Me neither. I hate Taco Bell. I ate at Taco Bell twice in my life. I got food poisoning both times. It was terrible. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
So that's what scuffs our Tims, Loyal Noodles. We don't like dogs in restaurants and Tinder profile pictures. Like, that's just what scuffs our Tims. If that scuffs your Tims, let us know. If it doesn't scuff your Tims and you're one of those people that brings their fucking pet to the restaurant they're going to eat at, say that too. Come on the show, defend yourself, or come in the comments and be like, nah, this is why. Service dogs, I get it. I understand. We're not saying, what is it? the dogs for blind people. I don't remember the name. The blind eye seeing dogs, whatever. Yeah. Service dogs. We'll just count that as service dogs. That's not what we're talking about. But you just brought fucking Molly from the house. Whatever. Just stop. Don't do that shit.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now Miss Tina got that out the way. I'm going to tell you guys what scuffs my Timbs. And it was oddly, and we did not go over this, I swear, oddly, very similar to you, except it's not dogs, it's children. Babies. Stop fucking bringing your child, babies, or whatever to do adult shit.
Yes.
Like, I fucking hate it. Like, I went, I'm not saying don't bring your fucking babies on airplanes and whatnot, but that's not what I'm saying. But like, I've been to music concerts that are not fucking kid friendly and there's kids there. Like, and the parent, like you can tell the parents are like fucking uncomfortable, or parents or kids at the movie theater to see like fucking Deadpool or some shit. And I'm like, it's just not very kid friendly, but whatever. Like, I hate that shit when like kids are present for adult shit. Like, now I understand if I go to a friend's house and it's like an adult get together with me and my friends, and like for our instance, like we got to bring the kids. We don't have a babysitter or whatever. So I get that part, but it's like, hey, you want to go to Coachella? Yeah, I got to bring my kids though. Like, what? No, the fuck you don't. Like, your kids don't have to fucking be with you to do everything. Like, leave their ass at home, leave their ass with mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, cousin, something. Like, drop 60 bones on a fucking babysitter for the night. Stop fucking bringing your kids everywhere. Like, it just gets really like uncomfortable, especially, and parents, I need you to start identifying these things, especially if your kid's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, if your kid's a fucking shitbag and doesn't know how to fucking be how to behave in public, like, yo, fam, stop doing that shit. That is quick and to the point, but that really fucking bothers me.
And let's say I'm at Coachella, I'm leaving my mom's senses at home, so I don't need your kid almost getting ran over by a drunk person, and then I'm getting mad at the drunk person because they almost ran over your kid because I'm still a mom. Like, I'm leaving my mom at home, sir.
Hey, kid, those gummy bears are not for you.
Right. Like, can we not? I agree totally with you on
just my thing. I love kids. Kids are great. Kids are fucking, at the same time, kids are assholes. They're cock blocks, but let's just not bring them everywhere. Kids are cool.
Agreed.
Okay. So again, that's what scuffs my Timbs. That's what scuffs Miss Tina's Timbs. Make sure you tell us if any of that scuffs your Timbs, or let us know what scuffs your Timbs. Let us know. I'm dying to know. Please tell me. So with that being said, we are going to jump right into our first topic. So, relationships and dating. Okay? People, loyal noodles, bitches and fellas, if you are coming over here from the 31 Flavors podcast. Dating and relationships are not the same thing. They're different. Okay? Just because we're dating doesn't mean we're in a relationship. Okay? Just because we're in a relationship don't mean we got to go on dates either. I'm going to say that. But I'm going to stir the pot with that one. Anyway.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
Titles in itself can be so primitive when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships. They're just so quick off the rip. Like, not everything needs a title. Like, you can give them a cool title like Miss Tina does with Mexican in Boots and Soulmate and Southern Gent. Like, fucking do that shit. Keep your little black book and stay on top of it. Go for it. Things go really well. The titles, they just get slapped on the people, like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a sneaky link, fiance, whatever the fuck. Like, you rush into things. And it's easy to kind of like go with that because things are going so well. Me personally, I like to decide these things when shit goes wrong. Because when things are going well, you don't really know what's going wrong. You're just kind of like, you're in the euphoria, you're in the high, you're in the honeymoon stage of the honeymoon stage. And fucking everything they do is perfect and nothing they do bothers you. Then you fast forward 5 years later and you don't like the way they fucking closed the fridge just now. So now you want to slit their throat. And I'm just like, yo, this could have been avoided.
Absolutely.
If you just fucking know the difference between dating and a relationship. So,
yeah.
You know, these things get really rushed. And in actuality, you're not really relationship ready. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what do you think, Miss Tina? What's your thoughts?
Sure. I am actually at a point in my life right now that they are very different. There is a very fine line in between it. Not a thin one, a very fine one. And I went over the weekend with a guy that I'm dating, and someone asked us, like, oh, I was talking to someone at a bar. She's like, oh, are you guys like together? And I'm like, no, we're dating. You're not my boyfriend. You're not my, you're nothing. You're just, I mean, he is something, but we're just dating. Like, that's not at all. We're not going anywhere with it. And there is no, like, I mean, he didn't even question it, but I'm sure there are men out there that would be like, hold on, what does that mean exactly? And I feel like if I have to explain that to you, we're not on the same level. Like, I feel like if I have to tell you, like, I already told you I don't want a relationship, and now you're asking me, what does that mean? Like, I'm at this place right now that, like, yeah, I'm not ready for a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to answer to you. I do want to date 5 different people and be okay with that. I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, there's a very big difference, and you need to make sure that you're not rushing from one to the other.
I mentioned this on the last episode where it's just like some of these things like kind of come with age or whatever, maturity and things like that, where it's like, okay, like it's kind of okay to be dating like more than one person because we're not dating. But look, my people, loyal noodles, bitches and fellas, look, the dating part of life is essentially the trial and error with this person, because when you're dating, I can sit here and find some shit I don't like and be like, not with it. I can end this right then and there. No ties, no commitment. I don't have to cancel any contracts, change my phone plan. None of the fucking above. I don't have to do any of that, you know. But then, you know, you get past that and then you're in a relationship and you find these errors and now you're fucking stuck because you're already committed. You're already fucking moved in. You already got your toothbrush over there. Your PlayStation's at her crib. Like, now what? Now, you know, like now they know all your fucking favorite places to go to so they can find you. Like, come on, like you're fucking this up, fam. Like, so you're stuck. And that's when it becomes a situationship where this could have been avoided if you just date for a little bit. Now, I was talking to Tina about this earlier, and I really enjoyed the topic of dating because I myself have never really dated. Like, I've never really got into, okay, like we're gonna go on a few dates and things like that. Like, it's just never really like occurred. I've never been in the dating scene. Like, I'm either single or I'm not. Like my sister Carol, she literally just tells me all the time, you're a relationship whore. Like, you go from one relationship to another. And I'm like, okay, like an honest flaw, probably, like obviously why these things don't work out. So don't let me tell it, loyal noodles, but I'm letting you know, learn from a wise man or woman, learn from other people's mistakes. I'm telling you, like.
But I am also a total relationship person. Love it. Love to be in love, loved being a wife, love being a girlfriend, love all the cute romantic shit. But like you said, when my toothbrush is sitting on your counter, we're gonna need a label for that. That's an amateur move. Like, my toothbrush is staying in my bag that will stay in my car at least. But yeah, no, you definitely, I mean, there are people, and I told you earlier, like, wow, you just like jumped. But again, I mean, I went through this phase that I was like, okay, separated, hoe phase, fell in love, met soulmate. Then it was like no one made up for soulmate, like no one was good enough. And then it was like, I got to get over this and like remember I'm a G. And then now it's like, okay, I like this whole dating scene. And then it's like, fuck, what if I end up catching feelings? Because I am a relationship girl. But I'm turning it off. Like, I don't know. You just got to know what you're wanting too, to go out there and know.
Oh man, that part. Hey, you don't go to the restaurant hungry and look at the menu for you. Look at that motherfucker till you're like, okay, that's what I want.
Yes.
But you know what you want, and then you get what you want, and then that's it. If the quality of it is good, it's good. If it's not, then all right, you'll be hungry again. I promise. Like.
Exactly.
You got it, and I'm not, don't, please, feminists and people easily offended, don't fucking sit here and say I'm comparing people to food. I'm not. What I'm saying is, you gotta fucking know what you want. Like, you have to know, do I want this relationship, or do I just want to get pounded on free nights and weekends? Like, fucking say that.
And it's okay. Like, right now, I have several that are good for one thing. Like, like, it's okay to just have the variety pack. Like, as long as you're not promising the world over here and over here and over here, like,
so don't be in the business of selling dreams.
Yes.
Okay.
Clear, because then feelings get hurt. You got to make sure those are done. But yeah, you know what you want. You know that you don't like pineapple on your pizza, so don't fucking. I mean, I do. Don't worry. I like pineapple on my pizza. I
do not.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. For the Good Noodles and 31 flavors conference, we'll get separate pizzas. It's okay. We know. I just can't do it. It's disgusting. But more power to you. I'm not gonna knock you because you like it. So, but just please understand that you got to know what you want. If you just want to do the hanky panky and turn yourself around, fucking say that. Yes. Or, like, if you want fucking long walks on the beach and Facebook officialness and whatnot, then fucking say that too. Yeah. So the difference that we have to understand is the dating is not committed. It's just the trial and error. Dating is trial and error. Let's figure this out. Let me see what I like. Let me see what you're like. Now, I like to know how that person is in the 4 seasons of life. Like, how are you when shit is hot and amazing and fucking sweet? Everything is lit. How are you when life gets really cold and it seems like there's no end? Like, how do you perform in that? How are you when it's like spring and fall, where sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, maybe it's comfortable, like whatever. I need to fucking know what you're like in that situation. Like, at least for me, if dating was ever a thing for me, I would be trying to figure that out in the dating phase. Now, I just kind of just get to know the person as friends, or, just not, or like, I'll just legit, like, I'll just keep getting to know them until I know if I want to donate some penis or not.
Right.
And then we'll just go from there. And then and to me, sex is important.
Yeah.
Sex is very important.
Then that's when I get all fucked up. When sex is fire, I'm like, hold on, like, fuck. Got me thinking second thoughts now. So
right, like, oh shit, maybe I do like pineapples on pizza. It's not so bad.
Right. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yo, like, my wife likes seafood. I don't like seafood.
Oh.
That's not my thing. I'll fuck with some shrimp, maybe some sushi, maybe. That's it, as far as it's going. But that's my wife. I just told you, sex is important. We could go to Red Lobster for dinner, babe. I don't
care. we get a lobster on crab legs, bro.
All right, yo, let me get some extra butter sauce, man. That's all I need. Like, yo, it don't even got to be all of that. So, but I gotta figure that out. You kind of gotta see what. That's another thing. In the dating process, before that, you need to know what you're willing to settle for. Are you willing to settle for bad sex? Are you willing to settle for her being an Instagram whore? Are you willing to settle for whatever the flag may be? You have to know that. Are you willing to settle for it? Like, just because it's a red flag to the homies, to your mom, to your ex, because some of y'all be going to your ex for relationship advice, and I think it's hilarious. I think I am. How do I say this? I think I'm firm enough with any and all of my exes that if they ever came to me for relationship advice, I would give them non-biased relationship advice. Any single one of them. And I feel like that is one reason that I know that, like, we're done, I'm over them and things like that. But we'll talk about the breakups and shit later. I'm willing to give unbiased, this is honestly what I think you should do, male intuition type shit, where they come out on top winning in their new love and sexual endeavor and all that other shit. Like, however, back to the dating. I know you mentioned it before, you're dating more than one person. I think that's okay. As long, I can't say as long as. The toxic me wants to be like, fuck that, don't tell anyone. But like, like, are you telling these guys that you're dating more than one person? Like you said, you made it clear you guys are not together. Do they know that you're dating other people?
Let's clear this up. I'm not sleeping with all of them.
No. I didn't assume. I swear.
I don't want everyone being like, damn, this girl's just one after the next. No. I don't sleep with all of them. But yeah, for the most part. I mean, they don't know details, but I've told all of them, like, yeah, I talked to other guys. And actually, one of them was very open with me and was like, yeah, I talked to this other chick. And I mean, when it gets played on you, you're like, hold the fuck up. Am I in the lead? Like, am I better than that?
What's the standings right now? Yeah. What are we looking at?
We're going to need to discuss this a little more. But yeah, no, I think they all pretty much know. I mean, I told them in the beginning, but if they're still around, that means that there's something about them that I like them being around for. So, I mean, is it discussed any further? No. But
was that a double standard just there?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Like this, the one who's talking to other girls he's actually 10 hours away from being a pilot. So I'm like, I can't fuck this one up. But at the same time, I'm like, no, who's this bitch I'm in competition with? Like, I need to know the details.
Oh, you better secure the bag. I mean, you're never going to see him anyway, but you better secure the bag.
Seriously. So, yeah, I mean, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, if they don't know, they're going to see my phone light up with someone else's name on it. So, I mean, to each their own.
Oh, so you don't do the phone on silent phone facing down trick. You just let it be known.
No, I mean, if you don't like it, but
hey, so you just out there. So one of the things, not out there in a bad way, but you just, I'm gonna just let it be known. Okay, so another thing about dating is that here's the way I see it, and of course Tina will tell her how she feels. But if I'm dating, the intent, usually is to be in a relationship. Usually, the intent, right? That's why we're dating. We're figuring this out. Okay, like everything goes well. Even when it doesn't go well, it still goes well. Okay, maybe we can move this to a relationship where I might be able to bring my PlayStation over there. Hold on, I might bring that motherfucker over there and forget it today and bring it and go get it later. I might do that,
Okay.
In a relationship, the intent is to kind of be in that for as long as possible and whatnot. However, that's not what it has to be. You don't have to date, and then just because you're dating them now, you have to get in a relationship with them. Just because you're in a relationship with them doesn't mean you have to start own separate savings account for their wedding ring and all this other shit. Like, you don't have to do that shit. Like, this could just be a seasonal thing. Yeah. And I'm not saying don't tell them, but I'm saying some things should be said. If you don't say it, then you don't say it. But good luck. That's gonna eat at your conscience eventually. Like, I've heard
Look, you have to tell them exactly, even if you're in a relationship. Like, I mean, if I was in a relationship, the soulmate, for instance, it was like, hey, we know we're like eventually breaking up. We're not getting married. Like, we're eventually breaking up.
Yeah, there's an end. There's an end here.
Yeah, exactly. So like it was, I mean, but it was known, and I mean, enjoy it while it lasts. But absolutely, you have to be totally forward with it. And another thing that kind of goes back to that is a lot of people mistake dating and relationship to the absolute companionship. And you have to understand that like you're just wanting that companionship. And that's exactly what you need to learn. You need to learn how to decipher all of these things.
Look, and I learned this in the past, and I'm not going to say with who because I don't necessarily have their explicit permission to really discuss them on the podcast. But I've been in relationships before where it seemed like once everything was over, the dust has settled, and you kind of look back on it like, damn, we would have been a lot better as friends. Like, yes, they are fine as hell, but we just we would have been a lot better as friends. We're great friends, natural conversations, just still laugh and talk to each other and shit like that, you know. But like, it just, damn, we shouldn't let it go that far, because then I could have kept you around and things like that. So those are things you got to figure out too. Like, you don't gotta. Dating also don't mean fucking either. Like, you don't also, you know, you kind of don't have to do that, because then that's kind of like where the friendship comes in to play, where it's just like, oh, we'll just be really good friends. We tried it or not. Could you be friends with somebody you dated? Is that a thing? Like, would you be able to, like, and y'all were dating for a minute. You ain't fucked. You ain't did the pelvic thrust or nothing. But
I could.
And keep it there?
Yeah. I think I'm pretty good at, as long as there's nothing dirty, you know, I'm pretty good at like, fuck it, I liked you as a person. For instance, the guy I went to Big Bear with this weekend, I've been wanting to friend zone him because I like hanging out with him, but there's something that's not working for us chemistry wise. And I'm like, but I really don't want to lose him. Like, he's cool as fuck. He's cool people. But I think in general, I mean, soulmate example, we have a crazy connection and chemistry and sexual chemistry, but there will be days that we link up for a drink and we don't sleep together. But yeah, I think it's a level of I mean, every person's different. Some people can have sex and then all the emotions and feelings get to it, and then that's a whole different level. But I'm more like a guy in that sense, so I'm like, okay, we had sex, it was fine, it was great, cool. Like, can we go get a drink in a few weeks? Like,
why is that a guy thing though? Like, how does that always get fucking chalked up to a guy thing?
You're
Again,
right.
That's how we feel about dating. If you are dating, then date. Trial and error. That is the education phase right there. Trial and error. Again, what works for Willie, what works for Tina may not work for you. So don't fucking, like, our word is not law. But if you have some different views on dating, again, be sure to let us know in the comments. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, text, WhatsApp, whatever. It's hard to not find us. If you're looking for either of these podcasts, you can find it wherever you find podcasts. And I promise you, you're going to enjoy both shows. Because even as a guy, I enjoy listening to Tina's podcast.
And ditto. Yeah. You guys, and I'm like, this motherfucker just said that. Like,
yeah, we like to we push the envelope from time to time, and some shit is literally said just to stir the pot, just to see where it goes.
It works for me.
Okay, so we dated, we're in a relationship. Now, it's not going well for a while, whatever reason, reach our breaking point, we break up. How should this be done? Is it conversation? Is it a text? Is it subliminal messages on Facebook? Is it literally indulging in toxic behavior so that the person breaks up with you so you don't got to do it? Like, come on now. We done seen so many different ways to skin this cat. Like, what's your recommended way to skin this cat?
Okay, I better not get no motherfucking subliminals. I cannot. I also, if you're sending me a text, you better believe I'm showing up to your house because you are not going to disrespect me this way. I am old school in so many ways, but I'm also huge on respect and honesty. So I expect a conversation. I mean, if we're going to go have dinner, if we're going to go meet at a park, if we're going to do whatever, I expect you to end it with me. I'm not going to convince you to not, but I would like to know where it went wrong or what you were feeling, and a conversation needs to take place.
Off the rip, are you going into desperate or heal mode? Like, I can fix this type shit, like off the rip?
No.
So what does that information do for you then?
I think it's more of, in my opinion, in my life, in Tina's mind, I would like to learn about my errors, or learn about he's not going to teach me about me, but I'm not perfect. So like, if, like, for instance, I was dating this guy and he would tell me, you always make me feel like I have to like reach further than what I'm reaching in order to make you happy. And I was like, why? Like, so in that situation, I'm like, give me an example. Like, I need to know. So if there was a breakup and this person was like, you didn't love me enough, you didn't show me enough love, like, I would be like, okay, but obviously our perceptions are different. So like, where is this coming from? Like, and it's not necessarily like a closure or let me convince you or let me fix myself. It's just more of like, I get it. I'm just the type of personality that I have to understand why things happen. And I need to know why this ended. And I would never beg, I would never try and convince. But if you don't want to have that conversation, that's fine. If you don't want to tell me everything that went wrong, then that's fine. But I do still expect you to actually like break up with me respectfully. You're not going to send me a text. You're not going to put subliminals. You're not going to unfriend me. You're not going to ghost me. Like, especially if I know where you live, because Tina will fucking go crazy. Like, you will not do that if we're in a relationship. Dating, if we're ending dating, that's easy. Go ahead, ghost me. I don't give a fuck. But a relationship, I mean, we met each other's friends. We've been together a few months. Like, that's a whole different story.
So I agree. I think it should be a conversation. However, I can't really say I wholeheartedly give a fuck. Like, I can't wholeheartedly say I give a fuck if the conversation is had or not. Like, should it be had? Yes, I agree. I completely agree with you, Tina. Again, I don't give a fuck if it happens because you didn't like the shit. Okay, that don't mean she's not gonna like the shit. Like, like it just all depends. But I think the conversation should be had. You're right.
I mean, I love that. I do love. I mean, I respect it. I respect it. Like, oh, fuck you. You're on your way out anyways. I don't care.
Again, when we have these conversations, like the point of the conversation, at least in my experience or whatever, is usually like, this is where things went wrong. But for me, I'm like, okay, this is where things went wrong. Like, are these solvable things? Like, what is it? Like, like, you're telling me these are the problems, but those all sound like things that can be like adjusted and whatnot. But here's where I draw the line. And this is where I'm also letting the loyal noodles. This is where I believe you should draw the line. if the flags that they're giving you or the reasons they're giving you for this breakup are just not in line with who you are as a person, then don't fucking be someone you're not. Like literally, like in that moment, what I've done in the past, I've asked them like, okay, you're a perfect guy. I understand no one's perfect, but you're a perfect guy. If you could fucking build a bitch, like you could build a perfect spouse, partner, whatever. What the fuck is it?
Mm-hmm.
If they describe you, yo, my G, don't let them go.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But if they're
Yeah.
describing someone who's nothing like you, then at that point, that's when you're like, you're right, we should be breaking up. Or like, well, then what the fuck am I doing here? Because that's not me. That's not something that I want to change about myself. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, like my wife doesn't agree with, and I said this before, my wife doesn't agree with everything I do. I curse a lot, I drink, you know, the music I listen to, you know what I'm saying? But like, if that was like a real no bullshit deal breaker, we obviously wouldn't be together. But those are things that she is willing to be like, okay, whatever. She'll still, you know, she'll still fuck with me and be like, hey, like, why are you cursing at me? And I'm not cursing at you, babe. I'm just cursing while we're having a conversation and things like that, or the music I listen to, or, you know, I'm drinking or whatever. I don't get crazy when I drink. Like, Tina, we've had some drinks together. Like, I don't fucking get all crazy and all belligerent and whatnot. It was more so like the frequency.
Right.
Like, I was an every night kind of drinker, and she was like, that's not good. Like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, you're right. So I cut back on the drinking. But again, like, imagine if like she brought me divorce papers and was like, because you drink a lot and you curse. And I'm like, those are solvable things though. Like, like those are things that we can adjust. But if she was like, you know, like just who you are, like I feel like that right there. Once it becomes, I'm breaking up with you because of who you are and things like that, or things that can't be changed, like in the past, like you've done this in the past, or like things like that, like then I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like I'm willing to fix certain things if we have problems, but that comes to the communication. Don't wait till you're ready to break up with me to put all the problems on the table.
Exactly.
That's terrible. That's bad communication. And I think everybody kind of has issues with that. And I'm not, if the boot fits, wear it. I hope it's red bottoms. But and I hope the fit was from Fashion Nova too. Like fucking like, you know, if it don't apply to you, don't worry about what I'm saying. But like, don't wait to the end to want to voice all your issues. And I've had an issue with doing that before.
Yeah.
My wife would be telling me like, these are the things I have issues with. And then I find that as an opportunity to bring up the issues I have. And I'm like, no, stupid. Like, don't. Yes, cool, tell her, but not tell her while she's telling you your shit. Like, you should be like, okay, well, how do we go about that? You know what I'm saying? But you got to know, are these solvable issues? Are these just issues that are just not me as a person? Because then that's when it's time to go.
Well, see, I think you just brought up a great point, because maybe mine stems from my actual marriage, because I don't want to give away my story, so you guys go listen to the podcast, but I was in a 15-year perfect marriage, and then it was like, boom, out the door. And it was like, whoa, there was never this communication. So maybe that's a little bit of trauma that you've just uncovered. Like, hey, I need you to explain to me why you're leaving me. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Might be onto something here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I like it. I like it. We're getting somewhere. Hopefully somebody listening at home, the loyal noodles, the bitches, the fellas, hopefully they're like, oh shit, Willie got a point. So like, again, don't wait till it gets to that part. And then so riddle me this. And we're gonna stay on the same track, but we're gonna segue a little bit.
Okay.
So a woman, and this just goes back to society and just naturally what it is. A woman who refuses to change when these events occur. She takes everything he's saying and she was like, fuck it, I'm not changing. That's just me. She's strong. She's self-loving. She's self-respecting. Generally, right? When a man refuses to change, he's an asshole. He's abusive. He's not a real man. He's manipulative. He's all these other things. So why are we not keeping the same energy in these instances? Like, why is it that when a woman refuses to settle, you know, it's like, oh, you go, girl. But when a man refuses to settle, he's less of a man. Like, why is that?
I can answer it. I'm not part of this generation when it comes to that whole bullshit. I am woman, hear me roar. I'm not. I feel the same way. I feel if a guy needs boundaries, a guy needs requirements, a guy needs all the above. And if he's not getting it, move the fuck on. I'm also like, everything goes both ways. I mean, and some things go more one way than the other. I'm totally old school when it comes to shit like that. But when we're talking emotionally, mentally, relationship wise, I'm tired of the like idea that men aren't allowed to have this say or these emotions or these feelings. Like they're actual humans as well. So I can't explain that to you. I'm with you on that. I think, no, you're not a strong ass bitch because you're not settling. Like at some point, all of us have to be a little bit selfless in order, like, go fuck yourself then. Like, what the fuck? Like, you obviously need a man. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm totally with you on that. Absolutely.
Again, because I've been on the side where I get told about myself and I'm willing to fucking die and be born again to be whoever that person wants me to be. I've been there where it's like, okay, I will fucking change whatever you want. I've been there, Loyal Noodles, and I'm telling you this shit because I've lived through it. I've met that woman. I've met them where I'm just like, I will change everything. Just to later realize like that's not a fucking thing. This is just me. And now I'm just pretending, or now I'm working really hard to be someone I'm not and do certain things naturally the way that I wouldn't do them. So it's just tiring trying to fucking be someone I'm not. Like, be yourself. Now, this is where I feel like, I know we're talking about relationships and whatnot, but this is where I feel like honest friends are important. They are important because your honest friends will fucking tell you, like, hey, friend.
Yes, absolutely.
You are a great catch. However,
yes,
you should probably stop paying for hookers every Thursday night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a fucking great guy. Just, you know, stop doing lines of coke off strippers' assholes on Thursday. It's like, fuck, dude. Like,
little, like, no.
Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need those honest friends, you know? Like, and I've had the best of both worlds where I had the toxic friends. Shit, fucking me and Isaac. Yo, we will tell you, we've said it on this podcast before, like, we have been the best friends, and I don't mean like we are best friends because we're brothers, but we have been the best of friends to each other. We're there for each other when we need it, in the way that we need it, even if we don't fucking want it. Me and Isaac have got into it before, telling each other about each other. I done told Isaac about himself. We got into it. Isaac done told me about myself. We got into it. Mel, Adam, we've all been there. All four of us, all of the good noodles have been there, you know? But, you know, at the same time, we've all also been the toxic contribution to each other as well. So, you know, it doesn't really fucking help sometimes when you're being the toxic contribution. So having those honest friends. And now, before I go any further, I know we're talking about breakups, but before I go any further, just because your friend is supposed to be the honest friend doesn't give them the okay to just be a fucking dickhead to you all the time. Like, let's put that disclaimer out there.
Or put 2 cents in your relationship.
Ooh, I like that.
Absolutely, you need that friend but that comes along with maturity. You need those friends that are like, bitch, calm the fuck down. Like, I know you're a 10, but right now you're acting like a 20, and we need to. I'm totally that bitch. I would put
Bring it down.
Yes.
I like that. So we need the honest friends, people, not just for breakups, for relationship, for life. We need those honest friends. Don't fucking forget it. Hold on to your honest friends, but let go of the ones that literally take every opportunity to tell you that you're a piece of shit. Those are not friends. Those are not friends, I swear. I have those friends. I'm glad I have them. I like to believe that I am that friend that I will tell you the honest shit. Like, no, you're wilding. Okay, but back to breakups. So let's talk about one thing. I want to talk about insecurities when it comes to these things and essentially causes the breakups. Now, we were talking about this earlier. Like Tina and I we're not fully strangers, okay? Tina and I have had some good conversations, shared a few drinks, shared some hookah together, fucking great times. So we spoke about this before. Insecurities, right? Insecurities in a person, not just a man or woman. Now, me, as a man, as a person, as a human, I'm insecure about certain things, but those all have to do with me and myself. I will see a man right now walk up to my wife, try to holler at her, gawking at her, whatever, talk to her. I will think nothing of it. I will not bat an eye. I will not put out a hit for his life. I will not fucking chop him up, burn him, and send ashes to his family. Like, I won't. I fucking won't. It does not bother me at all. I will watch real shit. And I'm gonna say this. My wife might run this back. She's busy right now. She just got home, but normally she's sitting very close by listening to me do these episodes and us. But yo, she could flirt back. I still won't give a fuck. I still won't give a fuck because, and I'm gonna say it like this: I'm very confident in what I'm capable of. I know that I put it down in a lot of different ways when it comes to a lot of different parts of life. Willie Knight does his fucking thing. I very good at what I do at work. I'm very good at what I do at home. I'm very good at what I do when it's just me and my wife in our private time. I'm very good at a lot of things. If you want that, you can have it. And she has it. That is my wife. I am her husband. I am hers. If somebody else wants it, I don't give a fuck because I'm probably better at this shit than you. Most likely. And if I'm not better and it comes to the point where I lose my wife to some dude, then again, I'm still confident in my abilities. I'm just not better than him. That's all it is. Like, I know I'm better at certain shit than a lot of guys that try to talk to my wife. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, my wife is fine as hell. I know there's people that we meet that would do all types of shit to my wife. Are they going to tell me no? Are they going to tell her no? No, that's a respect thing. It's a whole different conversation. But you know, to the stranger or to the drunk guy at the bar or at some random party or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I'm secure with myself to know, like, go ahead. It don't bother me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to like this guy's picture, you want to be all a key on his comments and jokes and shit, then cool. Go ahead. It was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I laughed too. Like, it don't bother me, but I know people that are not that secure with themselves. I know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and where it's just like, you can't talk to a guy. You can't laugh at her jokes. You can't like his pictures. You can't do, their boundaries are very, very tight boundaries in certain relationships. And look, that works for me. That might not work for you. Don't go back to your wife or your girl and try to do that shit, bro. Talk that over with her or him. Talk that over. Have that conversation. I'll never forget this. I'm going to tell this story, and then I'm going to let Tina say what she got to say. We were at a party one time, and one of my friends asked me, he said, hey, can I dance with Nancy? I was literally holding Nancy's hand. I was going outside, and he said, yo, like, can I dance with Nancy? Because that's my friend. He has the respect to at least ask, like, hey, can I dance with your girl or whatever? At the time, we weren't married. So I look at her, she looks at me, I look at him, and I'm like, sure. If she wants, I don't care. It's not up to me. If she wants to dance with you, go ahead. Because I don't care. They danced, whatever. Came back later. A few days go by. She brings it up. She was not happy about it. And I'm like, what's the problem? Like, he asked. I said, yeah. She was like, you're not supposed to let another man dance with me. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's just dancing. Like, I know what y'all were dancing to, too. I would have danced to it as well, but we were about to go take shots. So I went over there to take some shots. Whatever. She was like, you're not supposed to let another man dance with me because, you know, like, I'm your woman. And they were dancing bachata. Now, for those that have indulged in the art of bachata, you know, it's a very sensual and intimate kind of dancing. Again, I don't care. It didn't matter to me. And she was like, you know, like we basically had a disagreement where she was like, it's not something you should let someone do with your woman. And I was like, okay, I'm learning that about you culturally, that's not okay. So now I know moving forward. Again, that doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change me. I still don't give a fuck. But I now know that she, you know, like, if someone's going to ask me and whatnot, and I'm basically passing the baton over to her, she doesn't want me to do that. She wants me to keep the baton and say no and whatnot. That is exhibit A of someone presenting you a solvable problem, but it doesn't change you as a person. It doesn't change me. I still don't give a shit whoever dances what with my wife. Like,
right.
Go ahead. But I know she would prefer if I am the one to decline. So cool, we'll go from there. Like that's exhibit A, people. Like, we have differences, but it works. You just got to figure it out.
Totally get it. First of all, might I add that I love that you threw in there how fine your wife is. Like, love that. Love it.
Fine as hell. Thank you.
I am confident in a different type of way, in the sense that, like, not in the sense that I probably should think like, no, I can do it. But I'm more like, if you're going to do it, then you're going to fucking do it. Like, there's nothing I can do, say, if your mind's already there, you're going. Like, I can't stop it, no matter what I do. So I don't have a jealous bone in my body. And it's crazy because I was cheated on, and you'd think that now I have all these trust issues, and not at all. I still don't give a fuck. And I just feel like it is, like you said, it's just like, I know what I have. I know what I have to offer, and it is what it is. Like, take it or leave it. If you're not, there's fucking 5 billion people in this world, and I'll be fine going to fucking Puerto Rico and finding someone new. Like, I mean, it's not.
That's a great place to start, I must say.
I wouldn't even go to Puerto Rico, so I don't even know, like, where that comes from. I mean, I would, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But it is definitely, insecurities to me when it comes from a male is very, very unattractive. I would like like Nancy said, I would like the possessiveness. I don't want to say possessiveness, but
what did we say earlier? The territorial thing?
Territorial, yes. Protecting what's yours. I do feel that way. I do feel that that's an attractive trait to have in a male. I don't know if it was because of the way I was raised. I don't know if it's culturally. I don't know what it is. But I am also the girl that's going to sit at a bar and talk to anybody and everybody. And if you have a problem with that, then your insecurity is going to affect my life. And I don't want it. So I guess it's really like, I can deal with certain things, but for the most part, I can't. But like I said earlier, masculine energy, territorial, like, that's attractive to me. So I don't know. But on my
there's a line though, right? There's a line when it comes to masculinity and maturity and things like that. Like, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where's that line? Like, what is it like that he's like, can he say, for argument's sake, let's say he's like, Tina, you went on this guy's podcast and you had that fucking top on. Like, why did you have that top on? Like, is that
Maybe if the approach was different, slightly.
Of course, please don't take the approach from me. I'm really bad at communication.
Oh no,
I'm terrible at communicating, from what I've been told.
I think I would respect it. I would be okay with that. I'd be like, oh, it was like you didn't like it because of why, or I would try to understand where this person was coming from.
I like that. I like that you would try to understand where he was coming from, though.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
Automatically be like, no, I'm gonna fucking choose whatever I want to wear. Like that goes back to what we were just saying. Like I feel like you have to have a little bit of selflessness. Like you don't always have to be the fucking boss.
I'm not gonna hold you. I would kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like I can't say I was the youngest because I have two younger female siblings, or cousins that are like my siblings. I love you, Jordan, Shannon. But I was essentially like the baby in the house because my two older sisters and my mom and my grandmother, that was the house. That was the structure of the house. My mom, my grandmother, and my two older sisters, and then me. I was the baby. Mm-hmm. Then if my sister took me anywhere, most of her friends are females. So again, I'm around older females. So I'm kind of cool with me trying to push a little bit. Like, I don't want you to wear that shirt. But them pushing back, like, no, motherfucker, I'm gonna wear this shirt, like, because I want to. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I like the pushback because to me, it's like I feel how I feel about certain things, but I need someone. I'm gonna say I need because I'm self-aware and I know that if I meet a weak-minded woman, I'm gonna take advantage of her.
Oh.
I'm taking full advantage of her and her weak-ass mind. Like, she's gonna do everything I want her to do, even if it's not really what I want her to do, but the fact that she'll do it, I'm gonna take advantage of her.
Wow.
I like the pushback. I like the conflict there. Like, yo, don't fucking do that. No, I'm gonna do that. Like, oh, why? Like, why are you gonna do that? Like, oh, that's really how you feel about it? Like, I need someone willing to fucking tell me I'm wrong. Tell me about myself. Let me fucking know. Like, no, motherfucker, like, you're wilding, you're being dramatic and shit like that. Because I was always the baby. So I had these older women, strong-minded women, my sister, my mom, my grandmother, strong-minded women always telling me everything they told me was just from their strong minds. Like, so I feel like that has kind of translated into like my life and my love life and how I choose the women that I engage with, you know. But again, like I said, like if I meet a weak-minded woman, I'm taking full advantage of that. Like, don't do that shit. It's blood in the water type shit.
I mean, I would love to dig into that more, but yeah, that's a pretty interesting statement there. I mean, I guess I've never met anyone weak-minded enough to. I mean, there was a point in my life that I was super weak-minded, and it was just because I was just so broken.
That's fair. That's very fair to say.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like I said, if it were like the shirt thing, I would try to understand. I wouldn't know what the end result would be. There are things you obviously you're not flexible on. But you have to know that. You have to know your boundaries. You have to know your things that you're flexible on, what you're okay with, what you're not okay with. I mean, you have to know yourself. But yeah, I'm totally with you on that. It's crazy. Okay. I want to finish that one day.
I hope you do.
Yes.
And so when it comes to breaking up, now we've explored the insecurities, we've explored the dating, the relationship, and whatnot. When it comes to breaking up, will the sex of this person extend or shorten the relationship? Like, does the quality of the sex, like, is that a thing? Like, do people do that?
I'm gonna speak. Absolutely.
So but that good toxic shit will fucking extend this warranty.
Yes. But that's something that I think you gotta figure out where you're stopping that, because it will fuck you up. It will fuck you up.
So you just need to be strong and just say, yo, we're gonna have one last session. Is that a common thing too with you and your homegirls? Like, it's like fucking like has your homegirls and shit, they've been like, yo, we're breaking up, but I need that shit one last time.
We all go for that one last time that we know is not going to be the last time. But I mean, if the D is good, it's harder to let go of that. It's hard. It's very, very. There was a guy. Case in point, I call him Topaz. He was my booty call for a good 6 months. Hated the motherfucker. We couldn't have one conversation with each other because he was such a fucking know-it-all. He was an asshole, but man, was he good at everything. And I was like, you're an asshole, but I'm still gonna keep coming back. And we held that up for a while. So I think that good D will just keep you there for longer than needed.
It will. If I'm being candid here, or transparent, should I say, not candid. It will. That when that shit is good, when the thing is right, it'll extend some shit longer than it needs to. But it'll also shorten some shit at the same time, because how good the sex is will definitely determine what you're willing to tolerate from that person. And it takes a lot. And I'm gonna say this, it takes a lot. A lot of things have to go right in order for you to tolerate some average sex.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that should be identified pretty early on in this dating relationship situation. You should know what you're getting yourself into. Ain't nobody coming in as a virgin. We're not doing this. So
no, virgin's out the question.
Oh no, honey, go take yourself to find that one that's gonna. No.
Why not? Why?
It ain't me. First of all, I don't want to spend 7-8 sessions teaching you things. Secondly, I don't want you to think I'm God, because I swear to you, I'm not the fucking best. You just don't know any better. And it just, I feel like if someone's a virgin, it's because they have these strong beliefs that I don't have. So
at this point.
Yeah.
If I meet a 28-year-old that's still a virgin, it's obviously your beliefs.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So the sex will determine that, with your tolerance, should I say.
Yeah, I might put up with some bullshit. But
that's fair.
You're not bringing it up to, you need to sit down.
Is your dick game good enough for you to have that tone with me?
Yes.
Yes. So the dick game ain't strong. It don't matter what shirt I'm wearing it.
No, you're okay.
Okay, that's fair. I want to say this was your version of a Scuffs My Timbs on your podcast. It's not an everyday thing, but you definitely have your moments where you're like, I need to get this off my chest.
Yes.
Breakup etiquette. Okay. So breakup etiquette, how does that go? Are we splitting the assets, the friends, the favorite restaurants and shit? How does this shit work? What is good breakup etiquette? What's bad breakup etiquette? Now, we've all had, I can't say we all, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, I can't speak for everybody, but I have had some bad breakups where it's just dramatic and painful, but I've had some good breakups where it's just kiss, fuck one more time, and then we're going about our business. And then that's it. And then we see each other, it's cordial, mutual friends, all that shit. I've had it great. But what is, let's start with the bad. I like to start with the bad so we can end on a good note. What's bad breakup etiquette?
Oh, fella. Well, here I fucking started a podcast, so I mean,
Ah,
I don't
so you skip therapy and went straight to the podcast.
know if I'm the queen of this. But I did. I mean, podcast came years later. I did go away quietly. I did. With our situation, we were together 18 years. So with our situation, we had so much in common. Friends, family, assets, everything you can think of. And it was really, really hard for me, the hardest thing to distinguish what was right or wrong was the family and friends. Like we needed to come to some mutual understanding and quickly of how this was to be separated. And it was, I mean, basically we just came to the conclusion that like we're going to still have to be around each other and for the sake of other people. Now, years down, we no longer feel the same way. But more waters under the bridge now. However, I think like it just depends on the actual time in the relationship too. But I think everything should be pretty like mutually like amicable, like just fucking move on. Like there are things you said earlier, like I pick and choose my battles, like pick and choose. Like you don't fucking need that fucking vacuum. Like go get another vacuum. Like I don't know. There's just certain things that I think there's so much immaturity. My ex and I, we don't have a court order for shit. Like everything is just between us. Like we should be able to be adult enough to fucking figure it out. And so far, so good. But I mean, I think it's again, it just comes with a level of maturity and respect. Like respect everyone around you, respect the other person to an extent. But definitely there's like, yeah, there has to, if you can't come up with this mute, and I know tons of people can't, but if you can't come up with these mutual understandings, like your life's just going to be hell for longer and you're just holding on. And I said in my last podcast, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. You don't give a fuck. Like, let's just end it and move the fuck on. So I just think like, if you're holding on or you're being petty about this, that, and the other, it's because there's obviously still some feelings there.
Look, and all I'm gonna tell you, ladies, fellas, loyal noodles are like, when you're breaking up with somebody and a part of your reason is you feel like they don't care, most likely they don't. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't send no long ass messages. Don't write no long ass post on whatever directed to them. Because I'm gonna tell you what, from the artist formerly known as Mr. Toxic, I ain't reading that shit, right? Yo, you gonna have to call me and tell me that. You like call him, tell him in person. But these long messages, this gotta stop. Cause I'll be honest, good or bad, I ain't reading all that shit. Yeah. Like it's just not like I'm not trying to read a book. You supposed to text me like some short things or whatever, or this supposed to be a when you breaking up people.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, yes, take your shit and go. In a perfect world, it's kind of like you want to sit down and close everything out and you have your closure and put everything on the table. But I'm gonna tell you what, in most cases, I don't give a fuck. Take your shit and go. Like, I don't care. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. If I want to know, I'll ask. Then it's up to you to tell me. If you don't want to tell me, I don't give a fuck. Like, okay, I'll live my life. Like, guess what? I'm still gonna go to sleep. I'm still gonna be hungry and eat something later. And guess what? Eventually, we will both move on, and I will not know, and I will not give a fuck then. Like, yes, it would be nice to know. Tell someone about themselves, things that they can work on in the future. Like I don't think you should really sit there and attack their character to a certain extent. Like, I do understand where some people, and I don't want to just highlight women, but some people that essentially are the victim of the relationship. I get it. You kind of deserve a free few shots. You deserve a few of them. Like, you deserve a few of them free shots. Like, you deserve some of them haymakers that you gonna throw out. Other than that, shut the fuck up, take your shit and go. Like, just, it don't gotta be all of that. Like, and my thing, it's like, if you were real, this is the generation of social media. So if you were real public about your relationship and things like that, like, the breakup is gonna be super awkward. I remember one time I ran into an old friend. I was with my first wife. We were walking somewhere in Brooklyn. I ran into an old friend. They're asking me about this chick I was with in high school. And I'm like, you see me standing here holding hands with this woman right here. You asking me about some shit a few years. That's just fucking dumb. Like, it was just super stupid. But it's awkward. Or like the family members you don't really keep in contact with, but they know, like, of your, so, oh, how's so and so, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to tell you, like, yeah, we're not together anymore. Like, I've completely moved on or whatever. So, bad etiquette. Be sloppy. Don't be sloppy. Don't be messy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you are the reason that the breakup is happening, then don't be messy about it. Like, honestly, if I'm being honest, other than you two, and most likely, like, probably your parents, and that's it, maybe the kids, if applicable, nobody gives a shit whose fault it was. Mm-hmm. I don't care whose fault it was. Like, my friends have been in relationships. They end. My first question wasn't, whose fault was it? No one gives a fuck. So you don't have to go out of your way to blame the other person, to defamate their character. And you don't have to do that. Just hold the L and just keep going. Like, I think that's just bad etiquette to really sit there and just want to attack their character and all this other shit. Like, I hate it. But there are people out there, and I'm sure they are not loyal noodles of the show, that probably feel like I feel that way because it was my fault that we're not together. So I can see where that would be a thing, but I'm gonna keep the same energy. Not every relationship I had ended because it was my fault. And I'm still not gonna attack their character, though. Like, again, hold your L, beat your dick, rub one out, and fucking move on with your life.
Yes, absolutely. I think that plays a huge part in gender roles, or genders as well. I think women need the details of if not, then fucking my number one listened to episode was my divorce story. And it was like all these fucking chismosas were like, hold on, let me figure out people coming out of woodworks. But at the end of the day, and it's something I say every single time I bring up my ex, this is my story. This is my perception. This is what I went through. This is not what he's going to tell you. There's 3 sides to every story. So let's just, but you have to understand that, like, it's just over. Nothing you say is going to convince this person otherwise, whether you drag their name through the dirt or you don't. Like,
and guess what? No matter what you say, that version of you is never going to change to them.
Right.
Never. Exactly. It's never going to change. You can literally change. You can mature, become a different person, a better person. You run into that person that you hurt during that time, guess what? You are still that monster to them. Absolutely. It's unfortunate. That's why I say it don't fucking matter whose fault it is. You guys broke up. Like, move on. Get over it. Absolutely. Like, if you guys want to revisit it later in life, go for it. but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
Right.
that is the very brief thing that we're going to talk about breakups, because Tina and I can go on and on. And we will. I swear we will. If you let us, loyal noodles, bitches, fellas,
Yes.
we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So we are going to go into our last topic. It's called cheat codes for relationships.
Oh.
So we just spoke about the breakup, what to do, how to go about it when shit's over. But now we're gonna try to avoid that. We're gonna try to save you a breakup. We're gonna talk about just some cheat codes. Like, we all, I can't say we all again, but some of us used to play Grand Theft Auto, used to play games and shit where there was just mad fucking cheat codes. You had to write them down, back in the day, or what do they call it today? Oh, the hacks. The hacks for a relationship. So we're gonna talk about the cheat codes for a relationship. Now, there's plenty of tips and tricks to the trade that we can give you, the loyal noodles. And it might work for some. However, again, it might not work for everybody. So don't. If you try this shit at home and it don't work, don't say it was our fault.
Right.
We gave you a disclaimer. So what are some cheat codes that you can give to the ladies, to the fellas, to anybody? What are some cheat codes? I can think of one off the rip.
Ladies, I'm going to need you to study the fuck out of that man. Fuck out of him. Is he visual? Is he sensual? Is he easy? You gotta know exactly. Ain't every guy the way to his heart is his stomach. No. I've been with a visual guy before, and that was the funnest shit I've ever done in my life. Know him like the back of your motherfucking hand, because chances are he's pretty simple. Guys are pretty simple creatures. But fellas, I'm gonna need you guys to, especially this day and age, I'm gonna need you guys to go a little bit deeper than the tits and ass. I'm gonna need it to go a little deeper.
Into what?
More than tits and ass. More to a woman. But I know, it's hard to believe.
What?
I feel like I need your wife behind you right now.
Hold on. This is the Santa Claus isn't real shit. Like, what?
I mean, it's so much. I need guys to understand that mental stimulation is a real thing. It has to be done. And video game era right now, age, like, your girl's not coming home and being like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and watch you play this game, because I guarantee you there's someone in her DMs not leaving her the fuck alone. And you really just gotta put time and effort, like put the effort into knowing them, put the time into getting to know them. You said earlier, and you said, I'm gonna start a riot with this, that you don't date the person that you're with anymore. And I feel it's the opposite. I feel you never stop dating them. You never stop trying to win them. And I think in both cases, on both levels, women need to understand that you can't just roll over and fucking die because you're a mom and you have fucking kids now and you're working full time and you're tired. And no, he's still there. And male's the same thing. You can't just be like, she's just not as fun as she used to be. There comes so much that you need to understand. And first of all, people evolve, people change, people's lives change, situations change. But you do have to understand that person is still a person under it. So fucking know them, research them.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I fucking love it. Loyal noodles, remember there was a part in time in this episode I say just because I said it don't mean it's what I'm going through. That's one of them. I still be whining and dining the fuck out of my wife. So anyway, I love it. Something for the fellas, something for the ladies. I'm sure we got more. For me, some of the cheat codes, I'm gonna say, you touched on it, and I love it. I love when we don't go over shit and the shit that we say like correlates with one another. I love the natural chemistry that we have, Tina. You said men are simple. Ladies or fellas that are interested in fellas, men are fucking simple.
Yes.
You want to know how simple like a man is? Like you should really befriend or meet a man that lives by himself. Because I swear, when I lived by myself, well, I can't say by myself because it was the one time I did live by myself, it was with Mel. But it's two men in one house. We had two couches, a TV in both of our rooms. The TV in the living room didn't even work. It was just there for decoration. We never got around to throwing it out. So it just kind of just stood there. And that's it. And a bed. My bed didn't even have a frame. I think he had a futon. Like fucking simple. And we lived there for months. That's where we lived. It was beautiful. I loved going home. It was fucking wonderful. Like I go to Nancy's house, she got decorations and shit up and this and that. And I'm like, yo, bro, I got like 3 pots, a few cups, and 2 plates in this bitch. Like that's all the fuck I need. Like men, okay, ladies, listen. Men are very simple with what we like, how we like it. Just the simplicity in men is so easy. It's the complexity comes from, and take this with like, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. The complexity comes when you come around, because we know you are not as simple as us. Like, so now we have to kind of like, oh fuck, like I have to think of shit, like details, things like that. Like, fuck, I have to figure this out. Men are very simple. Like, here's a question I want all of my loyal noodles and the visitors, the bitches, fellas, and visitors from the 31 Flavors podcast. Here's what I want you guys to do. I'm giving you guys some homework. Ask a man, whether it's a friend, a boyfriend, a sneaky link, anything. Ask him, what is a romantic evening for him? Not what will he do for you for romance, because I know the ladies have their whole fucking night planned out. Ask a man what's a romantic night for him. So me and my wife, we alternate Valentine's Day, right? First Valentine's Day, I'm gonna say, right now I'm winning Valentine's Day because she got pregnant for one Valentine's Day. I'm winning because she got our beautiful daughter on a Valentine's Day, because Willie, like I said before, I throw it down in more ways than one. So the next Valentine's Day, it was her turn to cater to me. If you get stuck on the word, think of another one and get over yourself. It was her turn to be romantic for me, to do something for me. I still got her gifts and whatever, but it was her turn to do something for me. And she asked me, like, what do you find romantic? And I was like, honestly, like just the shit that I be trying to do on the regular. Like I want to sit in my living room and watch old school wrestling, have a drink, play the game. The kids can come down and play with us and shit. Like simple shit. That's it. We don't got to go anywhere. We don't really have to do anything other than some shit that we would already do. Then right there. But then, I ask a lot of females, not that I particularly ask, but like in my past, a female's romantic night is going out, candles, music, sand, water, fucking a tornado, a Cat 5 hurricane in the background. Like fucking shit. Like there's just so much that has to go into it. You ask a man, what's a perfect night for you? Like, how can I cater to you this Friday? Like, what do you want? You hear romance and you automatically think it's tailored to women.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Cool. I'm not knocking it. But what I'm saying is, if you tailor it to the man, it's going to be so much easier.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if I'm gonna say the obvious, I mean, you do anything and you suck his dick without him asking, he's gonna have a great night.
Absolutely.
I promise you. Ladies, you have nothing planned. We're gonna talk shit about it in the long run, but you have nothing planned, suck his dick without him asking.
Win. Everyone's winning.
Everybody wins in that situation. You just pleased your man. He just got his dick sucked. I'm pretty sure you suck his dick on Friday. We're recording this episode on Sunday. Sunday evening in California, he's still gonna wonder, like, yo, what the fuck did I do to get that? He's gonna want to know, like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting the shit because it's your birthday, anniversary, Valentine's Day, this, that, whatever. You just sucked his random dick on a Wednesday night. Now you just fucking blew his mind. Figuratively and literally. It's fucking amazing. It's so simple. Life can be so simple. So absolutely. That's a cheat code. I have more for the ladies. For the fellas, gentlemen, loyal noodles. Pay attention to the shit that she does in terms of the reactions that she has to the shit you say, to the shit you do. A woman in love, a woman in lust, a woman in love will do anything for you. The nastiest shit, the calmest shit, anything for you if you can pick up on the things that she says, even if it's indirect, or the things that she does or that you do that are in her favor. And I'm not saying cater to her and rose petals and red carpets. That's not what I'm saying. But if your love interest likes communication, or, you know, she says things like she wants you to communicate with her more, she doesn't really like know you like that, or things like that, express yourself to her some more. Talk to her a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she'll give you those subliminals, like those fucking smart ass remarks to certain shit and then laugh it off, yo, pay attention, fam. Like, my wife does it too. Like, I'm gonna peel the curtain back this episode. I said that. My wife does it too. There'll be times that she was like, you pay more attention to your phone than you do to me. Or you'll talk to your friends and be more open with them than you are with me. For things like that. Now, off the rip, initially, I told you guys I'm bad with communication. That also means receiving it. Like, so she's telling me this, and I'm like, yeah, but I live with you. I talk to you all day. I work right across the street from you, so I know how your day was. Listen, this goes back to that dating conversation we were having earlier, but then it's also beneficial in the relationship. When you're talking to her openly and freely and expressing yourself, not only is she now figuring these things out, but she's learning you as well, and you're learning her. If she's a terrible listener and she's just not paying attention to anything you're saying, then she can go fuck off and don't tell her shit. Keep telling your boys, she'll be all right. But give her the opportunity to kind of accept these things that you're telling her. Like, hey, this made me upset when I was, during my day, this happened and it really got me upset. And this is why it got me upset. If she don't understand, it is what it is. But, she could be trying to understand. She could be trying to figure it out. Just don't like shut her off completely because she's not going to get it. Like, give her the opportunity. Like, like even in my past and currently, it's like, like I hesitate to communicate certain things with my wife because I'm like, she just won't get it. She won't see it the way I do. But if you do a better job of communicating that, of telling her like how you feel and why this made you feel that way, you never know. That's the homie too. Just so happens that y'all do nasty shit from time to time. Like, that's just the only difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, give her the opportunity to understand your emotions, because once you do that, it'll be a lot easier. Like, I've doubted my wife before. Like, I don't think she'll fucking understand if I tell her this. But then I tell her, and then I elaborate and I explain these things. Like, no, this is why it upset me, because once upon a time things were this way, and because of that trauma, shit affects me in this way. And she was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like, that makes a lot more sense. Like, you just got to give your woman that chance, bro. Don't just assume like, nah, she's not the homie, bro. She wasn't in a strip club and shit with me doing whatever. And now she won't get it. No, tell her, do it. Talk to your woman, bro. Do it. She got to be the homie. She has to be the homie. You know what I'm saying?
Give us more of a role than your wife.
Right. Don't just be the designated chef, you know, fellatio provider and watcher of kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, let her be your diary. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just go from there. Well, okay, but what are the cheat codes you got, Tina?
Yeah, we kind of touched it a little bit with the whole. I mean, just give him head and he's good. I feel like sex solves most problems. Like, I feel like if you literally just one time when we were getting married, someone told us, argue naked and you'll be fine. And I was like, oh, that's fucking genius. Like, you're not going to finish your argument. Like, get it. Got it. Yes, sir. Please write it down.
Hold on. Let me write that one down.
I think that like it brings you back together in a sense. I feel like a lot of people think that like you can have sex because you're not on this level with this person, but I think that it should be, at least for a lot of couples, sex should be something that brings you guys together, and it should definitely be discussed. I say it all the time on my podcast. Like, you should have fucking perfect communication skills when it comes to sex. Like, perfect. So I think that that should definitely like bring you guys together. Like, I mean, like you said, give him head, he's gonna be fine for 3 days. Then he's gonna be like, I'm on my best behavior. I'm gonna do these dishes. I'm gonna do, because I don't know, something's up with her, but it's cool. Like, yes, you need to like, and then her, the same thing, like simple things like, oh, you look beautiful today, babe. Send me a selfie. Stop, like, never stop flirting with them. Like, that's why earlier when you're like, oh, it's fine as hell. Like, I fucking love that, because you don't hear that from like married people anymore. Like, they forget that like you need to still hype up. You need to be the cheerleader. You're their hype man. You're their hype woman. Like, good job, babe. Like, good it. Like, you know, and you need to stay on that level with each other. I don't know. I feel like that's lost so easily. And don't get me wrong, I have fucking triplets. I know how hard it is. But at the same time, you just have to like, no, I made sure when I had my kids, they're never sleeping with me, because that has to be mine and his time. Like, our entire lives are going to surround our lives with them. So it has to be them never sleeping with me. And it worked out beautifully. Like, I mean, when we were together, but even now that I'm like alone, I'm like, it's cool. Like, that's when I have time to talk on the phone to someone I'm dating or whatever. That's when it's my alone time, you know? You have to just understand that like they still have these needs. Women are so fucking needy. Like, you have to understand that. Like, they need this validation constantly, no matter how tough that you think they are. And that's your job as a man to do that for her, and make sure that everyone is jealous of your woman. She is not jealous of anyone else. Like, that's very important. Yes, definitely fucking figure out the easiest ways to keep everything going. And my biggest thing is kids. Like, make sure your kids are not your fucking life. I know it's hard to do that, but like, try your hardest to not make these kids your entire life. Like, remember the foundation of it.
I like that, because, you know, just for those loyal noodles that are not parents just yet, or maybe you guys are just the cool ass aunts and uncles, because the kids will grow up and they'll go do stuff, or the kids will fucking eventually be in school, and you'll just be the two of you there together and wondering why the fuck you don't know what to do. So I really like that one. Between the two of us, myself and my wife, we have 5 kids. So, you know, they require a lot of attention. You know, even the oldest, the 13-year-old, he's 13. Like, he needs just as much attention as the fucking 10-month-old because he's 13. He's going through some life changes right now. So, you know, we got to give him attention. We can't just kick him to the curb because he's 13. So,
right.
But then I can't kick my wife to the curb, you know, like she can't kick me to the curb. I still got to cater to that. I still got to get in the car and drive around the curves that she got, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I got to do all of that, you know? So yes, I love that point, Tina. Like, don't forget the spouse. Don't forget don't forget your daughter's mom, people. She's still a person. She still has needs. So one thing, another cheat code that I have, and let me elaborate before y'all try to cancel Willie Knight, first of his name, because the delivery is not going to be the best, but I need it to be this way. And this goes for men and women. I'm not just going to pinpoint anyone in particular, but shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just stop fucking talking. Shut up. I know my previous cheat code was communication. Yes, communicate. Communicate. Yes. Do that. But please shut the fuck up. Like, you have to learn your partner. Again, back to that dating stage. You have to learn them. You have to kind of figure out like their cues, their social cues. Like, they had a long day. When they come home, like, are you having a bad day? Like, do you want to talk? No? Okay, cool. I'll shut up. Just know when to shut the fuck up. Some issues should be brought up, but they should not be dug. I get it. Shut the fuck up. I don't have shit to say right now. I don't know what to tell you. Just go shut up. You know, sometimes in my mental state, my depression and my anxiety, it kind of fluctuates from time to time. I'll come home from work where I have to wear a mask all day, the literal mask for COVID and the figurative mask of my emotions, where I can now come home and take it off, but I'm so exhausted and whatnot that I just don't have energy to kind of interact with my family. And I just want to sit in silence. Like, I'm not saying leave. Like, I'm not saying go somewhere. Like, literally sit right there, but just shut up. I don't want to talk. I don't want you to ask me how your lipstick is, how you look in the dress. I don't care. I'm gonna have sex with you regardless. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, just shut the fuck up, please. And this goes for men and women. I'm telling you, sometimes just shutting the fuck up will go a long way. Sometimes you just need to let that person sit and deal with it themselves, but you have to let them know that you're there. Let them know you're there, but don't fucking persist and just stop. It's not fucking cool. So that's one thing. It's just shut the fuck up, please. Just shut up. That's it. Even if fighting, if you see you're the only one fighting and they're not putting in much effort into the argument, that's probably your cue to just shut up. They either get it and have nothing to say, or they're trying to digest what you're saying and kind of figure it out. You don't have to keep beating on it and trying to push a button to get them to react. That's not necessary. Now nobody's listening and you're arguing because you hurt my feelings and all this other shit. Less is more sometimes when it comes to that conversation. Another cheat code I have is tailored more towards the married loyal noodles. Don't forget that you said for better or for worse.
Yes. When
you said that, listen to me. Listen. When you said that, you did not know what the best would be. You did not know what the worst would be. But you still said for better or for worse. That means at our best, I'm with you. At our worst, which I don't know what that will be, I'm with you. If If forever is the goal, if till death do us part is the goal, it's cool if we done disagreed for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool if we ain't really been clicking for the last few weeks. It's cool if we hit a rough patch for a few months, because forever is the goal. We don't know what forever will be. We don't know if you die a week after your wedding or 100 years after your wedding. We don't know. But we know that we said till death do us part. That means when you die, our marriage is that is the only time I will be without you, vice versa, or whatever. Please don't forget that part, okay? When it comes to that is a cheat code that I cannot harp on enough. Like you said, for better or for worse. Disclaimer. If that person is just absolutely detrimental to your health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, fuck that, they're dead. Get the fuck up out of there. Leave. Make an effort.
A serial cheater.
Right. Not a serial killer.
Right.
Not a fucking, not like using you as their sparring partner. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying stick with the abusive guy or the cheating ass wife. Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just the issues outside of that are not detrimental to your health and whatnot. Just stick with it. It's okay if y'all have a few bad days, a few bad weeks, a few bad months. And I'll be honest, even for relationships, I know there's no we didn't make a vow and all that other shit. It's okay to have a few rough patches in a relationship and whatnot. Just, there has to be some form of progress. Like the person just can't keep committing the same crimes over and over again or doing whatever. That's just not good for you. I feel like when you're dating or when you're in a relationship, it's a lot easier than when you're married. When I'm married, I committed. I literally just said till death do us part, for better or for worse, sickness and in health. I didn't say that in this relationship. I didn't say it. So if we are at a point where I just feel like I can't take it anymore, you have every right to leave. You can go. You can pack up your shit and go. When there's no kids, assets, money, anything involved, go. Get the fuck out. Leave. Like, stop holding on to the good dick and bubble gum for longer than you need to.
Love it.
If you want to see more of Miss Tina, head on over to the 31 Flavors Podcast, and you'll get more of Tina than you thought you would get. Because trust me, she keeps it real. She keeps it a buck. She keeps it Andre 3 stacks, as I like to say. She will peel the curtain back. She will let you in, and she will keep it real with you. If you want more of Miss Tina, please go over to Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and so many more streaming platforms. Miss Tina, I don't know about you. I can't speak for you, but I had a damn good time having this conversation with you.
Ditto. Likewise. It was a blast. We got to do it again.
Yes, we have to do it again. I can't wait for the next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Miss Tina, thank you so much for coming on the show. I look forward to heading over to the other side of the tracks and coming on the 31 Flavors Podcast.
Soon, yes, we will get that together.
I cannot wait. Thank you so much for coming in. While you're here, Loyal Noodles, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, whatever, you name it, make sure you give us a like, a review, a rating, an honest rating. I'm not going to tell you give us 5 stars and shit. Keep it a buck with us. Tell us where we're fucking up. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you do like. Tell us what you absolutely love. Tell us what you want more or less of. I'm listening. We're listening. Just let us know. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Say you're